Um, what I do at the Fab Lab is I work with infrastructure, instruction, open hours, and all-around repairman for a couple of the different machines. I tend to work most with textiles, but I've had to work with all of the various equipment that we have here. Are known as the Champaign-Urbana Community Fab Lab. So what makes a Fab Lab is a makerspace, and what makes a Fab Lab different from a regular makerspace is Fab Labs were originally created by MIT, and they were created closer to a organization that was used for the school. So they're a makerspace that the school specifically used, and they laid down a list of rules in order to make a fabrication laboratory. And what those list of rules essentially amount to is what tools we have and what facilities we use. And so makerspaces were originally created as a kind of a place where hobbyists, be they artists or programmers, anyone who wants to create something, they eventually started creating these areas where they could create together. And so makerspaces kind of came from that. And so what essentially made a person a maker is someone who just tries to make things. And they don't have to be things that work. Sometimes it just means I like to draw. Other times it means I like to make robots. But then we also have some of our more interesting workshops. There was one called Inside the Black Box, and in that one we tear apart phones and computers and try to put them back together again, see if we can repair them. If we can't, oh well. And then we have Minecraft workshops where we teach kids how to put things into Minecraft, 3D objects that they scan themselves. So we've taught them how to put their heads into Minecraft so they can make their own little statues. And then we also, since it's specifically geared towards 3D printing and how Minecraft relates to that, we essentially teach them how to put 3D objects into Minecraft, but then also how to take objects that they build in Minecraft and pull them out of it so they can 3D print different buildings that they've made, or castles, towers, stuff like that. And during the summer, we usually have our Minecraft camp is 1 week long, and by the end of that week, we've taught the kids and we worked with them to build different things. So then by the end of it, they built this giant city. And so we only get to make one of these prints, and it usually takes close to 24 hours. But we 3D print their entire city. I've made way too many things. I make costumes and clothes. But I make them for a whole bunch of different people, but as well as for myself. So there's been things that I've made here that have extreme personal significance to me and or other people, and so I enjoy those because they're personally significant to me. I made a series of gloves and scarves for a group of my friends. And that exists in a whole universe where everyone's attached to a character. But that used the embroidery machines, and then I had to hand stitch everything together. But then recently I spent the past month or so working on a skirt. It's got over 1,300 squares in it. And then I had to stitch all of them together. And total man hours is literally been at least 2 or 3 solid weeks of actual man hours. Putting that together, and that's one of the things that I've made. There's this that I made. I can see people have made things before, and I can just I want to make that. I look it up, whether or not anyone else has made it before, and then I just make it. But lately I had to make something called the kigurumi, which is like a Japanese onesie for adults, and I had to design that from scratch because there was no pattern that existed online. So that took me 3 days of just making the pattern from scratch.